Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Digital Natives. I've been your host and still remain your humble host, Sami Mohamud. I have with me two wonderful guests today who will be joining me on today's episode. And without further ado, I would like them to introduce themselves, starting with the lady on my right.
Hi, my name is Amina Yusuf. I am a psychologist at Tranquil and Quest. We deal with people with mental health issues and substance abuse.
All right, welcome to the show.
Thank you
And
very
on my
much.
left.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Abdulaziz Aisha, a medical student of Pergova Medical University. Currently still in school though.
All right, I don't even know how to. I was gonna say health. I don't know what word to use, but it's all right. Anyways, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Today's topic is quite a very dicey one in the sense of it talks about change in Nigeria, and when I say change, my direct question is: can a revolution occur in this great country of ours? I came up with this topic because of the recent revolution that has occurred in Sudan. And in Sudan, what's happened is they've had a military rule for the past 20-something years. And the people were, first of all, Sudan has been split into Sudan and South Sudan. And in the northern part of Sudan, they still retain their military rule. And so the people for like almost a week were on the streets, both men and women, children, everybody. Even the soldiers as well ended up joining the civilians like towards the last few days of the revolution. And this occurrence now prompted me to think about the problems that we're experiencing in Nigeria and how every day on social media you have talks of we want change, we want this. Even Buhari came on the platform of change, but I don't think anybody is really experiencing this change right now. First question, let's go straight to it. Do you think a revolution can occur in Nigeria? Like, do you see the people of Nigeria actually coming out and demanding, no matter the amount of days it takes, demanding for a change?
I do not think so. I mean, ASU and NLC, right? They've all tried it and nothing actually worked.
That's true.
So I don't think any other person would come out and say, oh, they want to, everybody should, come to the street and then we are all chanting and then somebody will listen to us.
In this Nigeria.
But I mean, with ASU and LLC, those are very specific demands that they're asking for. So you can understand why maybe it wasn't successful. They didn't have the numbers. But when you're talking about
NLC has a lot of numbers. That's one.
But they don't. So, for example, if you had a revolution for, let's say, police brutality against brutality, I feel like that's something that's across boards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, recently we've been hearing about NSAS and everything, but it seems to be only a social media trend.
Yeah.
Nothing actually happens in the society. Nobody really cares to actually put an end to whatever is going on. Recently, was it not the talk about rape with prostitutes in Abuja and everything? And then
the woman came out.
some people are out here, but then what has that done? Nothing. It has actually brought about nothing. So we are in a community where everybody comes out. After a few days, it dies down. Maybe some people get what they want, but not everybody gets what they want.
Okay, so actually, I think the first question I should really have asked is, what do you guys understand by revolution? Like, is it something that has to be bloody? Is it something?
I don't think revolution has to be bloody. I mean, but over the years, I haven't seen any very peaceful revolution
All
anyways.
revolutions so far always bloody.
Because I feel like somebody has to die for something to be.
People will die.
People have to die for something to be to come up, right? People have to sacrifice their lives. But as Nigerians, we do not want to sacrifice.
I'm Yoruba, we cannot. Like that, Yorubas will not. I'm telling you, they'll always want to go to work. Is it Yorubas, typical Yorubas, or Igbos that are going to just go and carry their things from container? We can't do it.
Nobody is ready to sacrifice.
It's always on social media, people are always talking about this change, and
exactly.
They're not changing on
method of
themselves.
revolution, so like a social media revolution. Because let me tell you the impact of social media. Until I don't know if you guys heard about, so with this NSAS thing, that Kolade, I've forgotten what his last name was, the guy who was a few weeks ago that was
Okay.
killed by SARS, and he took the whole of social media by storm. Everybody was. Do you know that throughout all the amount of killings that has happened with SARS, Buhari has never spoken once until that incident, because that really trended for days and people kept talking about it.
But
It had to now come out.
I mean, what not just NSAS, right?
Yeah.
The police brutality about women that
Yeah.
occurred, the rape and everything. What has been done so far?
I mean,
It has
expecting
taken
change to
Can I
happen
just say
instantly.
something?
the.
First of all, Nigeria, number one, we don't have data. Please, can
I
we just
mean,
think about it?
and the people that do have data would not want to publicize themselves,
Exactly. I feel
and
like
the ones
this
that
social
do
media
that.
thing in Nigeria is not helping us. If it's other countries now, if you look at this thing that happened in I'm trying to remember this country. I think it's one Arab country that one girl was raped or so and so they had to like open this thing. There's this thing they used to do. I've forgotten. This GoFundMe.
Oh, okay,
that
yeah.
people donated immediately within 2 days. In Nigeria, yeah.
You can't.
GoFundMe
can't
account
it,
to
man.
be opened and then nobody is ready to
Nobody's
pay.
ready to help.
But then that's not really because nobody's ready to help. Like you said, it's the issues that
Number
they're
one,
like
data,
the data.
yeah, data,
not enough
everything.
people
It's not
have
cheap.
money to
NTN, Airtel, Glow.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, number one. So they should probably help us with that. Then probably we'll see people on social media more. That's number one. Probably
But
data
then
will help us more,
people
honestly.
that are on social media right now are just looking for Instagram likes and Facebook likes and everything. So nobody is really people. Maybe some people are, because I mean I know of some activist groups, but nobody is really willing to do anything like come out and then stand their rights, because the first question is, do we know our rights as citizens? Most people don't know what their rights are as citizens, so we cannot expect we don't know our rights to come out and then ask for things that we are meant to. Yeah. So that's the main thing.
All right, we're going to take a very short break right now. Please make sure you're still tuned in to the dial. This is still Aleeftvng, and the show is still Digital Natives. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to the show. It is still Digital Natives. I've been talking about revolution in Nigeria with my lovely guests, Aisha and Amina. So far, you guys have seemed to take a very, I don't want to call it negative, but you're very sure that this revolution thing is not our time yet
Well,
in this country. And I find that really surprising, especially because I feel like more people, especially the younger generation now, are more vocal about what is happening to them and complaining. Because if you actually compare this generation with the last generation, you know, I see the problems haven't always been there. We kept quiet about it more.
okay.
Now we're very vocal. So now if you speak to the next person, you realize, oh, you're actually going through the same issue with this person. Unlike back then, Lagbaja wouldn't even say anything, and you will not know that Lagbaja is suffering the same thing as you. And because you too, you have that, I don't know if it's pride or some kind of ego that makes you not want to go out there and complain, and then everybody
It's more like
suffering
fear.
in silence.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but then what are we scared of though? Because it's not like we live in a military era anymore.
But then everybody is fear of stigma.
Yeah.
What are you being stigmatized?
Okay, coming back to the prostitutes that were raped. Number one, they were stigmatized for being prostitutes, and people saw it as, well, that's their job, so why should they complain? But then rape, and then to some people, rape is very subjective. While rape is not subjective at all. So you could not prostitutes wouldn't go anywhere to report that they were raped by the same people that are supposed to protect them, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that stigma is there.
This was actually really very sad to hear about.
Exactly. So that's one of the things. So this stigmatization of people, the fact that nobody really cares about the other person. We are a lot selfish in Nigeria. We do not really care about each other. We only pretend to care.
Okay.
Yeah. So you might see something happening with your neighbor. Sorry, something. But it's not genuine. It's just so that everybody can see that you're saying sorry about it, right?
Like, I'm sorry. This rape thing you're talking about. So, I'm doing my, I'll call it internship in one local government in my place, and we're always having this rape case of a thing. So there's this woman that came with her child. I think she was about, the girl was about 7 years or so. She was raped by, I think, 23 or so. So they came to report, and we did the necessary thing, examination, we did the test, and we're like, okay, no problem, we're going to send these things down to Ikeja. They should do whatever they want to do, then we'll get back to you. She's like, okay, no problem. The next day, I think around 2 p.m., she called and she was like, hello, doctor, please, I need to talk to you guys. Can I come over? I'm like, okay, no problem, you can come over. So she came over and she was like, please, I don't want to take this case up again. Why?
And then
She's scared of the stigma that people be talking about a child. The doctors were like, wait, just be going. No, we're going to take this case up. Be going. Like, that's the example I'm talking about. So people are always scared of these things, people talking about them. And this child going through something, like, you don't know what is going to happen to her in future.
exactly.
So that's the
I
thing.
think the stigma that you're talking about can be related to what you said earlier, that people are not actually ready to change for
Yeah.
themselves.
Yes. So that's the thing.
But okay, so now this social change that I'm discussing, can it ever happen without a revolution? Or because I feel like the reason why I always, because this topic I've spoken about it for years, and the reason why I always say, if you look at the demographics of Nigeria, close to 50% is under 14.
Okay.
Right now, we're saying Nigeria is one of the poorest, or is the poorest country in the world.
I think so,
right?
yeah.
So if you now add the amount of people that are going to grow up into the system in the next 4 years or in the next 8 years, that means over 50% of the population is going to are strictly youth. And if they're just going to keep getting hungrier and hungrier and poorer, there's something that's going to break.
Well, the country has broken. It's just that that's the truth. It's just that we are still under the facade that everything is fine.
Everything's going to be fine.
And it's not, right?
No, it's not. It's not. Like we are on. I mean, it's good to be a religious society. Nigeria is a religious country. We all believe that when we pray to God, everything will be fine. But then God also said you work for it and then you pray. That's when the two can work together, right? So we are not ready to work for anything. An average child will tell you that, well, they will go and chache and they will make their money, right? So nobody is ready to actually sit down and say, okay, this is the progressive way to go about these things. And then, okay, this is what we can do. You can imagine we youth do not have a voice. We pretend that we do have a voice, but we do not have a voice.
Social media has a voice.
We do not have a
It's easy on
voice.
social media, that's the thing.
Yes,
It's
it
easy.
is
It's
extremely
not
easy. I mean, you
Social
see
media.
people on Twitter tweeting different things. How many people are in the Senate?
I mean, Banky W tried.
Sorry.
How old is Banky W?
30-something, I'm guessing.
Yeah, is he really a youth?
Yes.
Is he really?
Yes, he is. I think till
What
40,
you prefer,
you're
Really?
safe.
Wow,
40.
wow.
Yeah, no, I would say,
No, for
I would
real.
agree with that as
Yeah,
well.
for real, till 40 you're safe.
Especially
So
like
at least
with
it's
how
trying.
Nigeria works. I mean, there's no,
I'm not talking about how Nigeria
I mean,
works.
okay, so even in a global scale, like if you're 40, you're still because they say life
Yeah.
begins at 40. So that's
Life doesn't begin at 40. Life begins at 15. That's the truth. Because, I mean, how many teenagers don't know what's going on?
Now, sure.
So life begins at 15. You see the younger ones, if in fact, 8 years old, 5 years old, they know how to operate the internet. So you can do whatever they want to do on the
So, you
internet.
see, that's what I'm saying. Those are the people that, like, we as the next generation of leaders have to actually be worried about and actually be making sure that their rights and what they want are being taken care of. Because, first of all, we're growing up in an internet age. So if we don't figure out a way to physically change their world, they'll figure out a way to change our world, possibly through the internet or through technology. And I'm very sure about that because the world is becoming more of a global civilization now.
Yeah.
We need to learn from what's happening in Nigeria.
Anymore.
And just-
Exactly.
yeah,
But I think change can still happen this thing
Yeah.
if internet is still good in Nigeria. Like I'm saying,
Good.
seriously,
How?
like the
The
data
data
of the
thing,
thing.
yeah.
Because if you check outside countries, these things work. If you tweet something bad about Donald Trump, he will reply you immediately.
Yeah.
Like that's example. But yeah,
Before Buhari replies.
oh yes.
So, okay, so
You just say before you even see the reply, maybe the next day.
can you suggest methods of social change that can happen without necessarily going through a revolution?
Examples of social
So you
change.
said like how you started with we need to work on ourselves. How do we go about doing that?
Working on ourselves. If if you see something going on around you that you feel like, oh, this thing is terrible or is bad, then try and change whatever is going on around you. If you see, I mean, growing up, when we were much younger, they used to say, in the Yorubas, they used to say that, they say that, or something like that, that when you wash both hands is when the two hands will be clean. You can't just wash one hand. Yeah. Then, in the neighborhood, if you do something bad, somebody else can scold you, not necessarily your parents. But right now, if somebody does something bad and then they still report the child and then they fight you for reporting the child for doing something bad. So really, we're not really wanting to help our, yeah. So we have to start from how we groom the kids. While they are growing up, when somebody comes to the house, they'll tell you that, oh, tell this Madam Lagbaja that I'm asleep. You're already teaching the child how to lie.
Yeah.
So from there,
Sorry to cut you. That is actually the funniest thing about Nigeria, because then they like to claim they don't lie. But these tiny lies that...
exactly,
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah.
lies. It's still lies. So, I mean, you're already training the child from very young age to learn to lie to any other person. So it doesn't see an authority figure as something that it should hold to high esteem. It doesn't see it as he or she doesn't see that there are consequences for these lies that you do. So we have to start from while they are young, teach them the right things. That's when I can see that things can actually change. And then we as grown-ups, well, we're not really grown-ups. I'm still very young. I'm 15. Anyways, we as grown-ups can actually, when we see something going wrong with ourselves, we should work on ourselves first before we start judging other people.
Yeah,
That's one thing
very
that
important,
we do not take seriously. Everybody tries to judge somebody else without looking inwardly and then trying to see how we could actually help each other.
All right. Okay. I'm just gonna have to cut you short there.
Thank
We're going
you.
for another break, and it's still Digital Natives. Hope you're enjoying yourselves at home. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to the show. It's still Digital Natives. We've been discussing about revolution in Nigeria, a very dicey topic, I must tell you. I'm still in the studio with Amina and Aisha. And just before the break, actually, Amina, you were telling me about the ways in which you see the social changes occurring without necessarily being a revolution. So, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. Like she was saying, that we have to start from ourselves.
Yeah.
I also want to use where I'm doing my internship now, my clinicals. There's this older doctor, his name is Odutola. The hospital, the clinic, the gen spots, the pumping machine spots, so there's no water basically in the hospital. They complained, and I was told that either the chairman sent money out to someone, but we didn't get any money. Baba basically took money out of his pocket to buy a new gen, to repair the AC in the clinic.
This Odutola?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And did the pumping machine. Now, that's coming from him. Nobody did that.
Yeah.
He's always buying the fuel in the gen. And we have our leaders there that are not doing anything for us. But it's always telling us that, let this change come from you, yourself. Buhari is going to do his own part. But
Exactly.
you do your own. And always pray for your leaders also, because they need our prayers too.
Yeah.
So you should start from
enemies
you.
are stronger.
So
Exactly, right?
exactly.
Okay, thank you very much, both of you, for actually joining
You're
me
very
on
much welcome.
today's
Welcome.
episode. If you're just joining us, well, you've missed quite a wonderful episode. We've been discussing about revolution in Nigeria. I kind of started this topic because of what's been going on in Sudan, and I was wondering if, even though we are in a democracy, but we know our rights are being trampled upon, is there any point in time that we can see Nigerians flooding the streets and demanding for change? But anyways, it's been a wonderful episode, like I keep saying, because it actually is. It's very, very wonderful.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm still your humble host, Sami Mohamud. I hope you do keep it locked on Aleeftvng. This is Digital Natives, and until next time, keep it locked.